Sam Darnold won the Super Bowl. Did the 49ers keep the wrong quarterback?
Okay. It's a fair question. And because we try to be on top of things, we have to ask it. Iggy, I like Brock Purdy a lot better than Sam Darnold. I mean, God love him. He won the game. Iggy, he had a lower passing rating than than May. Do you know that he
Yeah.
had a lower pass? He had a lower passer rating.
Yeah.
What he did yesterday was he didn't screw it up, and that's
Correct.
important. That's
Yes.
important. But what his contribution was, he didn't screw it up. Brock Purdy, look, Brock Purdy doesn't have the arm or the big size that this guy has. Granted, and he still gives it up some. I think he's much more gifted. I do. I think he's a more gifted quarterback. And if I were running the 49ers, I would have kept Purdy over Darnold. And God love Darnold. He's a champion. Do you agree or disagree with me?
I agree and disagree. You made great points. And what I want to say is Brock is better than Sam Darnold. And the salaries reflect that. I mean, the Seahawks don't have a ton of confidence in Darnold, and their play calling shows it. The Niners have a ton of confidence in Brock Purdy, and their play calling shows it. But when you give Brock that contract, he needs to be great, and you can't build through defense. You can't ask him to be a game manager. He has to be special, and he hasn't been special against Seattle when it counts. And on top of that, he can't even manage the game. I mean, he's turning the ball over a lot. He turned it over 5 times in 3 games against Seattle. At least with Darnold, since he doesn't have the pressure of being a franchise quarterback, quote unquote, he can manage the game. And as a game manager the last 2 seasons, he's 28-6 in the regular season, and he's never gotten injured in the last 2 seasons. So he's a bigger guy. He's a more durable guy. He's a very mature quarterback at this stage of his career, and he's affordable. You could argue that, I mean, there's a reason why they just won a Super Bowl with him. You can win a Super Bowl with Sam Darnold playing the way he does, making what he makes, if you have a competent GM and coach or a good GM and coach. I don't know that you can win a Super Bowl with Brock Purdy making what he makes. It's tough. Is he ever going to have the defense with that salary? Maybe. I don't know.
One thing Darnold has that Brock doesn't have is an offensive line.
Yep.
He has an offensive
He's got
line.
everything over there in Seattle. He's got everything in Seattle.
He's got a better running back. He's got an offensive line. He has better receivers. He has more advantages right now than Brock Purdy. So let's do it another way. You agreed and disagreed. I love it. You're clever. And I say Purdy. I'm going to bring this to you because you're better at this than I am. Take Darnold away from Seattle. Put Brock on Seattle. How does he do?
I love that question. I think he would do very well, but I think it would be interesting because the Seahawks would say, look, Brock, we know that you make a lot of money and you think very highly of yourself and you've been empowered to do all kind of crazy stuff on the Niners. But over here, we don't really need you to hold the ball for 8 seconds. We don't need you to do all this stuff. We really just need you to manage the game, check it down, and let us win with defense and field goals. Like, will your ego allow you to do that? Or do you have to prove why you're so special? Because one of the nice things about Darnold is he's not really trying to impress anyone anymore. He's really reached that at Alex Smith stage of his career where he has found a winning formula and he's sticking to it.
Okay, I love how you couch it. And my answer to that is I think he could do it, Brock, because he's coachable.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he's a coachable person. There are people who are not coachable, quarterbacks who are not coachable. I don't think Kaepernick was really coachable toward the end. I had other things on his mind.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not there. Maybe he was. I don't know. I think this kid is coachable. I think he would do as well as Darnold and better if he were on Seattle because they'd ask less of him. And sometimes I think Kyle asks too much of him and not giving him enough options.
It's fair. The one last thing I want to praise Darnold for because it's a big thing for quarterbacks. And it's something that Purdy hasn't necessarily proven he can do year in and year out, which is just stay healthy. Darnold doesn't take big hits. He's not limping around the field. He seems to be able to get through seasons He had the like the little oblique injury, but it wasn't from getting blown up on the field. Or he's a big guy. He made a bunch of guys miss in this. He's under a lot of pressure. He didn't have any sack fumbles. Brock makes incredible plays, but he's smaller, and he missed 8 games this year, 2 games last year, and so the Niners have this incredible trade chip in Mac Jones that they have to hold on to because they don't really know how many games Brock Purdy's going to play this year. Where the Seahawks don't have to do that.
Yeah, you're making a very good point, and availability, durability, crucial, crucial,
Yeah.
and in that, Darnold is superior. I agree with you.
Well, last thing on this before we move on, what I admire about the Seahawks, maybe I'm misreading them, is I feel like they know exactly who Sam Darnold is. And even though he won a Super Bowl with them in his first year as a starter, they're very appreciative. But I don't think they're looking at him being like, "Damn, should we give him an extension right now? Is this guy the best quarterback in the league?" I think they're looking at him as like, hey, he did what we wanted him to do. We worked around him, and he stepped up when he needed to, but doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be our quarterback for the next 5 years. I mean, it's still sort of wait and see. Whereas the Niners lost a Super Bowl with Brock Purdy, and they were desperate to give him a big time contract. I just like that the Seahawks are a little bit more measured, a lot more measured.
When you look at Darnold on the Seahawks, he's one of a cast of characters. It's not Darnold and the Seahawks. It's the
Nope.
Seahawks, including Darnold and Walker, etc. And I think it comes back to the general manager.
One more thing I like about Seattle. This has nothing to do with the quarterback, but now that you bring it up, so you know what Seattle doesn't have? A core group of players. They just have one kick-ass team.
Yeah. I've told you the whole idea of a core group of players is bullshit. And it's hurting the 49ers, especially if you put the fullback into that group. What? No. Delete him. He's had a career. He's made money. Delete him. Get a better player. Bigger, faster, younger, stronger. Get a better player. And not a fullback. Make him a tight end.
Yeah, when you talk about a core group of players, it's like a caste system on the team, and it feels like the older players sort of holding down the younger players. And what makes the Rams and especially the Seahawks so formidable right now is that their younger players are the best players on the team. And it's not like there's a bunch of guys who are 33 and 34 being like, yeah, wait your turn.
Right, and it means that they have many years of life ahead of them, whereas the Niners, especially on offense, many of them have a sell-by date, and some of them have passed it.